Good evening, everyone. Today is the 21st of September. And for those of you who got on early, I'm so happy to see you. I know usually I'm a few minutes late, but today I got on right on time. And I just wanted to say hi to everybody and just welcome you. I might be turning over a new leaf. I hope I'm turning over a new leaf, but you never know with me. So we'll do the best we can. And I'm so happy that you're all here. It is a brisk, morning here in where I live in northern New Jersey. I want to say it is about 10 degrees Celsius, which is kind of cold. And on the outside of the house and on the inside of the house, I actually woke up and it was about 15 Celsius in my house, which is also pretty cold. My husband has the heat on now, so it's warming up nicely. But it's one of those things where, at least where I live, the temperature can drop suddenly overnight and you're not expecting it. Today is the official first day of fall. Some of you will say it's the last day of summer. I'm not going to argue with you either way, but it is definitely getting a little bit more chilly where I am. And as you can see, I'm wearing long sleeves and I had my jacket on earlier, but I took it off. So today we are talking about part 2 of the convention, and that's an important distinction, because part 2 basically means what's your plan for helping you to make this work, to either build your business or to help share these essential oil products. It's really, I think, critical that we understand that while we want to learn as much as we can, we need to pass on that knowledge, and how we do that is super important. So today I'm going to be talking a lot about how do we pass on that knowledge, what's our next step, where do we go from here, and if you haven't been to a convention before, or you haven't learned about the things from convention before, now's the time to start. So you're going to learn a lot today, and you're going to develop your own plan. So I'm going to give you about a minute or so to get out a piece of paper and a pencil, so you're ready to take some notes, because some of this is going to be your impressions about what I'm saying. So a lot of times what I talk about are just what I want to talk about, but other times today it's a lot about your learning and you're taking this to the next steps. So a lot of people are saying good evening. So Dardanella, hi. Betty, hi. Doreen, hi. Simon, terrific to see you. I did want to mention that if there's anybody new on the call, I want to make sure that you're saying hi in the chat. And if you're not sure how to get into the chat, tap on the chat button below your own face or below all the faces and take a look, and you'll be able to see that people are typing up, saying hi. And you may want to even say hello to each other. So Megan's saying hi to everyone, which is great. So we have an interesting, I think, set of information that we want to convey to you today. One of the things that I want to talk about in more detail is getting ready for the upcoming season. So if you've been with me for a while, and for those of you who can actually see my screen, can you give me a thumbs up? Yep, great. Thank you so much. And when we are talking about convention, we're talking about a whole set of circumstances, and we're also talking about the launch to a new season, which is really critical. Some of the things that we talk about during convention obviously have to do with the new products, but it also talks about sort of that springboard effect, that enormous growth that we can experience in the next 3 months. And if you haven't experienced this before, this is kind of like a wave that you can ride. Many people wind up rank advancing at the end of the year, growing their teams, more enrollment, just more engagement. It may just be that it's the season, because obviously there are a lot of holidays at the end of the year. People are getting together on a more regular basis. And I think this is a time of Thanksgiving and celebration, at least it is in the United States. And while many of us are still in an area of the world that we have to perhaps stay indoors, or we can't be integrating with other people, at least larger groups, this is the time where people traditionally would get together and be talking to one another. So let's talk a little bit about what part 2 really means. And it doesn't mean that I'm not talking about oils, but it does mean that I'm going to be talking a little bit about your plan. So get your paper and your pencil and be ready to take a few notes, because what I'd love for you to do is really think about, okay, what's my next step? This is what this is all about. How do I integrate this convention? Because to a certain extent, we want you to integrate any convention or all conventions, but how do I integrate this convention into my business plan? And how do I help this to, how do I use this as a springboard to help my business to grow? So let's talk a little bit about what's your business plan. If you've never written a business plan before, if you've never thought about a business plan, we're going to talk a little bit about it today. We're going to talk about it in the context of essential oils. So stay tuned. Don't think I'm not going to talk about oils, because I am. I know a couple of you are, I don't want to hear this. This is that businessy thing that she talks about sometimes. But this is, I think, a perfect way for us to integrate essential oils and business. So what's your business plan? I'm going to go over a couple of things because I just want you to be able to I want you to be able to see everything and know what's going on, in case you were not here last week. So we talked last week about the limited time Pursue kit, and as of this morning, there were still kits available. I checked it last night. They were still available. So if you have not gotten a Pursue kit, here's what's in it. And I'm going to actually go through it, not with it on the screen, but I'm going to talk to you about it a little bit while it's off the screen, and so that you can clearly understand why you need certain one of these things. So let me point out to you 4 of the limited edition oils, and those are on the right hand side of your screen. The one yellow roll-on Divana is a limited edition. The Tulsi Holy Basil, the 5 milliliter on top of the small box there, also limited edition. And then your bergamot mint. So you're going to get 3 limited edition oils. Basically means they're available in this kit and not anywhere else. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why you want them. Then our brand new products. Our brand new products are right there in the middle. You've got your new doTERRA Balance Bath Bar. You've got a brand new toothpaste and On Guard hand wipes. And as I mentioned last week, I'm just in love with the red and white. I love the changeover from the orange. I think it looks clean, crisp. I also like what's going on in terms of just sending the message of this is all about health. And if you like it too, let me know, because I love to hear in the chat. And then last but not least, you're going to get, going back a little further to the right, you're going to get your Helichrysum Touch. Some of you got a Helichrysum Touch when it came out as part of the Christmas products, which we're going to talk about a lot next week. Helichrysum Touch is a terrific addition to our product line. It gives us the option of using helichrysum without having to dilute it ourselves. It is a very mild oil, but it tends to be super expensive. So many of you might have been sort of jealously guarding your Helichrysum Touch or Helichrysum and not using it because you felt that you wanted to hold on to it. And on the left-hand side of your screen, you've got those 4 products that you've kind of seen before. You may be thinking, what is this? But those 4 products represent the launch of a system or a set of kits that are the 3 pillars of wellness and health for us right now. And those 3 pillars of health are immunity, relief, and mind mood. And the one you can see there is obviously the mind mood set. And it's going to come exactly like that with the balance, the adaptive roll-on, the adaptive capsules, and the doTERRA natural deodorant, all in that neoprene bag. There are 2 other types of kits, the immunity and the relief, as I mentioned before. Relief meaning basically relief from your physical or muscular discomforts. Also want to stress to you that this is part of a system. So while you will be getting one of the kits in your convention box, what I want you to also think about is how this is a 3-part system. So once you decide, yes, I want to start my wellness journey, let's say with the Mind and Mood Wellness Kit, on October 1st, you would click yes, and then for 3 months, you would get different sorts of products in your shopping cart. What I like about this is, I'm all about 90-day plans. This is the company's way of saying, yes, we support 90-day plans, and I'm super excited about it. And we're going to be talking more about it and some of the special offers and how you're going to work this into your business plan. So if anybody has gotten the kit, let me know. I want to hear. And then I also want to hear about what do you think? Do you love the kits? So I'm hearing from Diowa Academy, looking forward to the looking forward to the holiday items. Yep, I was trying not to blend too much in all at once because I want to make sure that we're talking about business today, and that's super important. So our numbers are coming up. We're getting more participants. I feel confident that we can keep going. Here's the Pursue Kit details. So as I mentioned before, you're going to experience the Mind and Mood Wellness Kit before it launches on October 1st. So the launch for the sets, the 90-day sets, are going to be October 1st, but you're going to get in your box, if you haven't already, adaptive capsules, the grounding blend, the adaptive touch, and the mini balance deodorant. You're going to get the new doTERRA products, as I mentioned, the Balance Bath Bar, the toothpaste, the hand wipes, the Helichrysum Touch, and then finally your limited edition oils, which I have to say, I did not get my box yet. And a couple of people have gotten theirs, and I don't know where mine is, and I'm just waiting and waiting. So I'm hoping today it's going to arrive. You're going to get the Divana Touch, the Bergamot Mint, and the Tulsi Holy Basil. If you opened yours up, I see Teresa says she's opened hers up. Let me know if you have any impressions or anybody who's gotten their kit. Love to hear if you've gotten your kit already, your Pursue 2020. Let me know if you have an impression about one product. Teresa says that she loves the little neoprene bag, so that's a really great thing. Anybody still waiting? You haven't gotten it yet? Let me hear that too. So these are the 3 unique types of products in this year's convention offering, including some limited edition products. Okay, so as you know, always talking about 90-day plans. We have talked about how this is the fastest and easiest way for you to help your teams to get and stay on an LRP program. If you're not you're not aware of this particular book, it's been around for a while. What it does is it goes back to some of those original products that are the core, the base, the foundation of doTERRA from its founding, and it talks about why these are important and why these foundational products, including things like LLV, will really help people to get and stay on a 90-day plan. And as I've said here before, studies have shown that getting on a 90-day plan can help you have sustained wellness. It could also, in terms of your business, help you for someone else to have that kind of consistency that they need to really resolve the issues, whatever their issues may be. Okay, so here's our 3 pillars of health and our 3 kits: immunity, relief, and stress. And I'm not going to go into these super deeply, but as you can see, we're going to get a variety of products as time goes on. And each month is going to be a little bit different. What I like about these are how the new wellness packs are going to help us to achieve great results at a moderate price point. So these are costing $75 US with a PV of 60. Doreen is saying that the adaptive capsules are only applicable, are adaptive capsules only applicable for people with stress? You make it sound like a sleeping pill. Okay, that's interesting. So no, I don't think of the adaptive capsules as a sleeping pill per se. In fact, most of the time when I take adaptive, I take it during the day. For me, sometimes at the end of the day, I'm doing a lot of work. You can't see over to the left here, but my whole office is a little bit in turmoil. My assistant was supposed to come in today and wasn't able to, and I had some people over for classes over the weekend. It's just looking a little bit frenetic. Maybe when I get off, I'll take an adaptive if I'm not able to make progress with it. I know I have to meet someone for a luncheon class at 12 o'clock. So I'm rushing a little bit today, but usually for me, that energy, that rushing makes me feel good. But sometimes it makes me feel stressed out and anxious. How do we address those feelings? We can do it a couple of different ways. Number one is absolutely we want to use our essential oils as much as possible. You want to roll them on, you want to drop them under your tongue, you want to take a capsule, you want to diffuse in your space if you possibly can. You can use a personal handheld diffuser if that's an option for you. I think that using our products are a great way to manage stress. And I usually don't feel that panic sensation that I know some people have described, but I would probably take my adaptive capsule in the afternoon when I have a lot to do. Yesterday, actually, when I was preparing this presentation, putting all the slides together, and it was a lot. It's a lot of slides. And I was going through the screenshots that I had taken from from the online convention and trying to decide, okay, what goes in, what doesn't go in, what stays out. Before I actually got started, I was having a sense of dread, and that's not a good thing. And dread can often lead to procrastination and then complete inaction. And that's not what I really want for you. So, Doreen, I hope that answers your question. Dardanella, what I'm hearing is Davana smells floral, but that it smells different on every person. So if anybody's had the experience with Davana, let me know. What does it smell like on you? Suanbi says she takes Adaptive at night, also keeps her mind calm before sleep. So I don't think it's going to put you to sleep, but if your mind is racing and you're very anxious, it's a wonderful way to kind of put aside those feelings. And Doreen also says, take adaptive capsule when necessary. Okay, interesting. So yeah, I think you would take it when necessary. Now, if you tend to be a person who is perpetually anxious, you may need to take it every day, and that's okay. There's no counterindications that say as an adult that you couldn't take this every day. But let's go on, because we got a lot to talk about today. I want you to remember that as you come out of convention, right? We're coming out of convention week. We're now about a week past convention. We're starting our second week out. There are actually people that are holding out their hands to you that want what you have. They really do. They want solutions. They want answers. They may not specifically be asking for essential oils. They may not even know what essential oils are, but they're asking for that connection, that vibrancy, that health that you have, and they're looking for someone to actually kind of lead them by the hand, if you will. So we're going to learn 4 steps that you need to take to teach in love and service, so that your teaching becomes the wellness that you need in your business. So, but I want you to keep in mind that you're teaching in love and service. So when you feel nervous, or when you feel I can't do it, I want you to feel, you know what, this is something I'm doing in love and in service. Danielle says, reminds me that Davana is great for balancing hormones. And Shally, and I don't know if you can see Shally's screen right now, but Shally's the one with the beautiful bunch of roses as her picture. So is there an age limit to take adaptive capsules? I would say probably, you're talking about young people, I would say probably about 100 pounds. So if you're less than 100 pounds, which would be, oh my goodness, somebody help me, 100 pounds is 40 kilos, I think. Anybody who can correct me real fast, that would be great. It might be 35 kilos. Check it out. I would say that would be the lower limit. Also Danielle is reminding me that Davana can be great with hormones and women's issues, and regulates their normal cycle, and can help with menopausal symptoms. Oh, and the upper age limit, Shally? Okay, that's a great, thank you, Missy, 45 kilos. How about the age limit for upper limit? I would say there is no upper limit. Now, I will say, many of you know, I have an elderly mother. I would certainly, she's 90, I would certainly give her adaptive capsules. If the person can still swallow capsules, I don't think that there is basically a limit. Okay, so let's talk about the 4 steps. The 4 steps are, you need to start, obviously. What is your idea? And we're gonna walk you through it. Your plan, and finally your action. What is the action that you are taking? And so let's start with first starting, right? Okay, so when can you start? You've seen the convention, you watched all the slides, you probably rewatched everything. Some of you are actually getting some of you are getting your boxes already. Have you started to talk about this system with other people? Are you even introducing the idea? And if you're not, and you haven't done it, I'm going to challenge you to do it this week, because next week I'm going to be talking to you about the next step in where you're going with this and what your expectations are. So be realistic. Are you able to start today? Then do it today. As you know, I'm meeting with some people at 12, but I've been meeting with people over the last few days, and on one-on-one or on the telephone, and talking to them about the new system and how important it is. Actually, a long conversation actually last night with one of my nieces about her feelings of mind, mood, and she lives here in the US, but that she wanted to feel more peaceful and more less agitated. And I made some suggestions to her, and I did talk to her about the mind mood system. And I intend to send her some samples, but also that idea that I've planted the seed with her. She is an essential oil user. She may not be ready to buy this kit, but as soon as I have it, I'm going to be taking some pictures and sending that out and so on. And of course, doing some promotion of it if I possibly can. So please be truthful with yourself also. So don't say, I'm going to start today, I'm going to do it today, and then do nothing. Honor your agreements with yourself. You want to make sure that if you're writing it down, make sure you know when you're going to start. So in the chat, I want to hear, when are you going to start? Or have you started already? Let's see. I want to hear it in the chat. So there's about 50 of us now on the call. I'd love to hear what everybody's doing. Are you talking about the convention and the new products and the kits already? Okay. Danielle says starting this week. Megan says yes. Let's hear from a couple more of you. We've got 44 people on the call, so that's good. I want to hear from a few more of you. Tell me in the chat. You can also give me a thumbs up if you want to. If you can't talk in the chat right now, you can just give me a thumbs up, and I hope that you're on. And I'm just telling you from today, I'm going to be awarding prizes from the chat. So if you are on the chat and you've been active on the chat, I want to make sure that you're getting a prize today. Because I know I'm talking about the convention products. I know that you've all been working. You wouldn't be on here if you didn't feel like this was necessary information for you. I just want to, as referring to the convention, have you started to talk about the convention or the new convention kits or products with anybody else? That's what I'm referring to. Okay, great. Okay, now I'm hearing from people. Hey, Saw Kim, great to hear from you. Betty says started with a small group, but cannot wait to get the kit. Dardanella says yes. Angie says we'll be talking. Okay, Angie, I'm going to challenge you to set a date for yourself. Friday, next Monday, and then let me know. And here's a great one. Megan is actually saying that she started since day one of the product reveal. And actually, that's when we want to start talking about these things. Some of you are on social media. You may have done some social media things on it. Teresa says she's hoping to tap onto gyms in the area. Great. And start sharing the appropriate kits. I love it. Okay, so what do we know? These are the three things that we absolutely know. That traditionally September to December have been very popular for natural products in general, not just for doTERRA, in general. And that right now we have some big things to talk about. And number three is there's a great interest in the message of preventive health right now. So whether you have started to talk or you haven't started to talk, please know that this wave is going on right now, and you're going to do so much better if you're able to just ride this wave. Okay, so second is your idea. So now you need the idea. How are you going to do this in a concerted manner? So what would you, number one, best like to talk about? So let's talk about the kits. We're going to use this as an example. Which of the three kits are you best most united with? What's your thinking? What's your favorite, right? So what would you best like to talk about? What do you most feel qualified to teach? Because I know there are some people that have perhaps suffered with feelings of stress or anxiety in the past, and this is their way to basically expound on that knowledge or share that knowledge. Pick the thing that you are most qualified to talk about, especially if you're feeling nervous about talking. What excites you? If you answer these questions, you're going to come up with an idea to generate momentum for you, right? So if the idea of talking to others fills you with fear or dread, and I know some people on this call today are feeling, oh my gosh, I can't do this. This is so hard. I've never done it before. Nobody likes to talk to me. Those are those feelings of fear or dread, right? I'm going to encourage you to own those feelings, not to run away from them, because those feelings are going to help you to personally grow. And I know this is a strange concept, but sitting under the mantle of perhaps fear or uncertainty or even humility that somebody might say something to you that you're not going to like, we're going to sit under that mantle for a little while and help ourselves to grow. So Dr. Kevin Major from Harvard Medical School says we must see challenge as part of a larger process of growth. Growth according to your highest ideals. So our highest ideals can be things like supporting our family. They can be doing things for wellness in different communities. What are our highest ideals? And if you have two ideas and they come together, your best idea is really one of your ideals. Okay, so Elaine is telling me, whoops, oh my goodness, Elaine, I lost your comment there. So I can slide over. I think I can. Oh. No, I cannot right now, but Elaine, I'm going to come back to your comment in a little while. It is true that the kits are all great. And if you're an experienced leader and you feel confident talking about everything, go right ahead. However, even experienced leaders, I'm going to challenge you to focus your efforts. So here are some of the 2020 fundamentals that I'd like you to stick in your brain. You can take a photograph of the screen if you like. You can also jot them down. These are the 2020 fundamentals. Immunity, relief, and mind mode. We know about those. Integrity, giving back, and nutrition, right? Again and again during the convention, we heard about these 6 items. And so if you clearly can grasp these and be able to talk about them fluently, you're going to be on the doTERRA train. I would probably pick no more than 3 key ideas to discuss. Remember, we're not teaching a 3-day convention. We're meeting with someone maybe for an hour over a coffee or a lunch. We've got to be able to condense what it is we need to say, and we don't want to overwhelm them. We want to answer their questions. We want to see what their needs are, right? It's not about us. It's about them. What do they need to, do they want to hear? What's going to solve their problem? What's the solution that they're looking for? Okay, so once you have your idea, then you need your plan. Okay, so you're going to jot down a couple of things. Number 1 is plan what you're going to say. So that was in your last slide. You kind of picked out of those 6 items what you're going to say, and now to whom are you going to say it? So when Teresa got on before and she said that she wanted to talk perhaps to gyms that were opening up, that's a great thing to talk about. Targeting, okay, this is the audience and this is what I want to talk to them about. Do you love On Guard? Great. So who doesn't, right? I want you to dive maybe deeply into that topic. Tell people why it will help them solve their problem. So I'm hearing in my neighborhood 2 big things. One is a lot of concern about safety and immunity and not getting sick. And so that's certainly the immunity set. And then the other thing that I hear about personally is a lot of mental and emotional stress that people are feeling, and how as this pandemic kind of goes on. Hi, can you put yourself on mute, please? Thank you. Maybe their problem is fear, right? Maybe their fear is just like your fear or your dread. Can you talk to another person through your fear and identify with them? Tell them, you know what? I really have a lot of fears too. And sometimes I have dread or apprehension, and I've found that this has helped me. Help to find the solution for them. Don't just talk about yourself. Help to find the solution for them. So here's a first, I'm going to give you a few slides that I'm going to be using about On Guard as I talk about it. And then I want to talk to you about some other interesting things that I think will help you as you go through this plan. So if I'm talking about On Guard, and look, hands down, my favorite product is the first one that I used when I first got started. It has been the biggest, best support for my family. I would be talking about how the wellness kits support a 90-day plan. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. So I'm talking about immunity, 90-day plans, and immunity hand in hand. I may also be talking about nutrition, because for me, that's a big issue. And we know that immunity is built up by good nutrition, right? So I'm going to talk about the benefits of On Guard, that it has demonstrated cellular renewing properties. It has helps with healthy inflammatory response. And I'm going to talk about immunomodulation. What does that mean? It means that we're able to be flexible in our immunity, that even if we are exposed to threats, and we're exposed to things all the time, we're able to modulate those stress. So these are the types of things that I'm going to be talking about. I'm also going to talk about the primary ingredients in On Guard. Why? Because when I talk to a new person, these ingredients are known. They may not know the words On Guard. They may not know that brand name. They may not understand that On Guard, they don't know what that smells like, right? I've said this on this call before. What does that smell like? On Guard to them might smell like lavender, or it might smell like, I don't know, another sort of scent. So by talking about what the ingredients are, I'm kind of walking them through their process and help them to have a mental image and maybe even a mental memory of what this product is going to smell like before they even try it. Talking to them about the wild orange, the rosemary, the clove, the cinnamon, the eucalyptus. I always talk about the clove, cinnamon, and wild orange, especially in this time of year, because those are the scents that are associated with fall. The other thing that I'm going to talk about is the cycle of immunity, that we need to protect ourselves and then strengthen our immunity, and finally our immune system is able to respond on its own. But it's a cycle, right? We have to keep doing these things over and over again so that we begin to see changes on our immune system. Yes, we want to talk about, for the current flu season, cleanliness, hands on everything, right? Oral health, but all of that can be talked about with our wonderful doTERRA products. But that's a great point, Betty. I love that one. Okay. The other thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about how doTERRA products support the immune system in different ways, right? So we're supporting our gut health. We're talking about immune protection, going back to the point of washing your hands, and finally cleansing, right? Keeping our environment clean. So can you diffuse to clean your air? As I mentioned to you this morning, it's quite chilly here. My doors and windows are closed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not keeping them open because my house would be freezing. I know that in the next few days, and for those of you who are in New Jersey, I know there's a couple of you on this live this morning. I know that it's going to be 0 centigrade very soon, that I'm going to wake up or I'm going to hear on the radio, 0 degrees centigrade. Doesn't mean that it's going to go to 0 every day, but we're going to start having those dips, right, into those lower temperatures. I always take all of my house plants and I move them outside, and I watch the temperature now very carefully, because I know that once I have them out around this time, I have to start watching, because if there is a hard frost, that it does hit 0, which is considered a hard frost, then everything will die, and then I won't have any plants in my house over the winter months. So they kind of get a vacation, if you will, outdoors outside of my house. Where a lot of chit chat about the On Guard hand sanitizer. Can you make it into a hand sanitizer? You absolutely can. You can add alcohol to it, or you can use the pre-made On Guard hand sanitizer, the one with the spray. If you want to make your own, you can do that too. There's plenty of recipes, and that might be something that you want to talk to about mummies that you know, or friends. I'm going to teach a class, and some of you are talking about different recipes, getting together and teaching class on how to make a handmade hand sanitizer. I love it. So let's talk about how nutrition plays into this, and something this is also I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how without adequate nutrition, we have poor cellular and body systems function. So that's kind of not a great thing, right? We want everything to be firing on all cylinders. We have general fatigue. I have to say, there were times, certainly during COVID, when I felt fatigued, maybe mentally fatigued, physically fatigued. How long was this going to last? And I realized I had to take control of my own wellness in maybe a new and more proactive way. Even though I'm a person who in general is very healthy, taking vitamins and so on, and supplements that can help me, I needed to add different things. As I mentioned last week, I'm taking Max now regularly in the morning, because I feel like I really need it. The other thing, what adequate nutrients, inadequate nutrients can cause are mood and chemical imbalances. So if you're eating a diet that's very lacking in certain basic nutrients, and that can be because you're just not eating at all, or that you're choosing to eat maybe one food group, maybe just carbohydrates, that's something that you want to be mindful of. And then finally, without adequate nutrients, you can experience a reduced immune function, and that's super serious, right? You want to make sure that you don't experience reduced immune function. Remember, you are in the love and service business. So as you talk to people, I'm grabbing my plug, excuse me. You want to talk to them in kindness, not in accusation. What are you doing? You're not eating the right way, right? We're not going there. We're talking them about immunity, relief, mind and mood, and then finally teaching people how to take better care of themselves gently, right? We're teaching them skills that they can use in the future. So what are they most concerned about, right? We learned in the convention a little bit about pursuing pure love of humanity. So it was, as you know, it's the 10th anniversary of the Healing Hands Foundation, and many of the organizations that Healing Hands has been and continues to be involved in, including Rafa House and Operation Underground Railroad, are organizations that support the human condition, support children, and help really for many children and people in general to have a better life. So it's important for us to make sure that people understand that there's a real community outreach, and more than really an international outreach for the benefit of the human person that doTERRA is doing. We also learned about pursuing pure business practices, right? We learned about the unique sourcing methodology and co-impact sourcing. If you're not a person who's familiar with this, you can go back to your slides, of course. The other thing you can do is you can go on to Source for You, and you can find out some of the different methods that we're using to source really pure product. And then finally, we learned about pursue pure intentions. Whether you're just getting started or a seasoned leader, learn how to effectively strengthen your business skills to take your business to the next level. So doTERRA is very serious about this. I consider myself a seasoned leader, but I also know there are many things that I can learn. I can learn from others. I can learn by example. I see other leaders that are doing things differently than me, and I'm always interested to find out what are those things and how do they work. Remember what I always say, to teach is to learn twice. So if you're able to teach it to someone else, you're really absorbing it and taking it in. So take the time to learn how to teach and really be teaching others on a regular basis. Okay, last thing, we need to take action. If we don't take action on all these plans that we've written down and the things that we've been thinking about, then it's kind of like, I don't know, you're paying lip service to something that you've learned, but you're really not turning around and making it work. You need to take action also to change things, whether it's growing your business or learning a new skill. Action is the difference between those that step ahead and those that don't. You have nothing to fear and only growth to experience. So that's kind of my my outline for today. I wanted to thank everybody who's been on. As always, want to say thank you to our Presidential Diamond team. You're on, you're engaged, you're with us, and that's really the most important thing. If you'd like to connect on social media, as you know, I'm on Instagram with my name, Elena Jordan. We'd love to see you there. And of course, right here on YouTube, if you would like to subscribe, if you could push the subscribe button below, we'd love to hear your comments and see what is it that's really helping you to build your business or to find out more about essential oils. And finally, you know that once a week, we also have, in addition to this call, we now have a Spanish call. So look for our Spanish calls if you do have people that either need support in another language and would like to have it right here on Elena Jordan on YouTube. Our highest ideal, I talked a little bit about ideals before, is to touch others in love and service. So this is really a love and service business. I don't know if I've fully grasped that, or I didn't grasp it as as well as I have this year. And I realized this particular year has been set apart from many others. Certainly in all the years that I've been working, I don't think I've ever seen or experienced a year like 2020. And so while every year is a little different, right? This has been really one for us to step out of our comfort zone and to touch other people. So I want to thank you all for being here and have a wonderful week. I'm going to answer some questions now in the chat. And if you are interested, I want to go back. I know there were some comments in the chat that I wasn't able to get to. I'm thinking specifically about Elaine. Poor Elaine, your comment is so far back, I don't even know. Oh, okay. So Elaine says that the immunity products are working for her, and she can speak from her heart and from experience. I love that. That's a great comment. Thank you so much. And I think I mentioned earlier, I am going to be picking the winners from the chat. So if you haven't chatted at all, get in the chat and tell me something. Tell me something that you learned today. Tell me something that you learned at convention. I want to make sure that we're hearing from everyone, or as many people as we possibly can. And for those of you who can't chat, I want to make sure I can see your lovely screens right now, because I'm just calling up your screens. If you could give me a thumbs up on your screen, I'd love to see your faces. That's great. So I just want to make sure that you're all here and you're engaged. There's a lot of people on the line today. I hope you enjoyed today's talk. If you have any questions, hey, Linda, good to see you. Welcome. I also want to hear from our new people. Do we have new people today on the call? Because that's always an exciting one. I'm beginning to see your faces, which is so nice. I love to see everybody's face. If you feel that, Reconnecting says essential oils are great. Okay, and Reconnecting, I haven't seen you before, but I'm glad that you're on the chat and that you are part of this group. Danielle says, definitely enjoyed it. Terrific. And we have a couple of different Danielles, and they're actually both Danielle M's. So I'll make sure when we're picking our winners that that I'm conscious of which Danielle M, if Danielle N ends up getting picked. So last but not least, I want to mention a couple of things, especially to our US audience. Today, as I mentioned, is 21st of September. November 1st is daylight saving. So what does that mean? For all of you US listeners, it means this live is going to go to 8 a.m. on November 2nd. So November 2nd, for those of you who are listening from the US, it will go to 8 a.m. I'm going to keep publishing this over the next couple of weeks, but I wanted to give you a heads up. Once we do not move, this call is really geared towards the Asia market. And since we are in a place that has daylight savings, we move, they don't move. And so I want to make sure that you're getting on. You don't get on an hour too late and say, wait, where is everybody? I think actually a funny comment is that, I don't know if you realize this, but almost every day, Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, day and night, someone comes on and tries to hop on the Zoom meeting, which is really kind of cool. I don't know why I don't know. It's always been Mondays. It's always been Mondays at 9, but some people read the email and think, I don't know, it's now, and they get on. And so whatever. I would hope that as you're spreading the word and helping people to get onto this call, that you're making sure that they understand. If you're in the US, 8 a.m. I know is a little bit early, but we've got a lot of early birds. Also helps people maybe that are getting to work. You can get on early. Of course, you can always listen to something later on. Okay, so I'm going to say farewell to our, oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. To our YouTube audience, thank you so much for having been here. And for our private members, we're going to continue on and we're going to award our gifts. So if you're joining us from YouTube, please stay tuned for more information and more great content. And consider clicking the subscribe button below. Have a wonderful week.